imagine an unavoidable virus that lets you transform into anything, but at a dire cost. That's exactly what we're dealing with now. A gang of criminals mysteriously obtained this morphing ability and have been causing crime since. Where did they get this power from, and will they be stopped? What happens after TommyInnit's Minecraft Morph Mod is very funny. If you like this, subscribe. It helps out and it's free. Enjoy. 5 years of tracing for pointless clues that led to dead ends. But finally, I've struck glittering gold. The first crucial piece of evidence needed to put away these 5 people for good has been found. An uncorrect case of murder. No culprit to be found. Detectives are as stumped as tree stumps. This oozes with the word nightmare, but this time, it's a reality. The sheep murder of 1928 has remained an indiscussable mystery. Until now. Bob brothers, as I come to call them, are the vile culprits. But they aren't alone. Having initially been cleaned from this wretched ability, 2 of the brothers have obtained it from the third, the patient Zero, the origin, who is none other than WilburSoot. He was the first to have morphed. Their sly, subtle shape-shifting wasn't for nothing. No, in fact, in order to transform, they had to kill the very innocent being that they wanted to transform into. This means that the 3 Bob brothers have altogether killed at least 3 sheep. I even found smudges of bloody wool across the poor green grass. The thick plot only gets thicker as when I use my trusty fingerprint scanner. The fingerprints don't match to either of the 3 Bob brothers, but in fact, the evidence links to a man named TommyInnit. This man has a simple history, but a complicated future. TommyInnit was once a regular man living on the pastoral outskirts of Acacia Village. The breeze is as quiet as the grass blades moving along it. This quietness wouldn't last for long, as once these 3 criminal sheeple have invaded his poor humble town, he would not submit to them without force. He hid in the same exact rickety shack. Unfortunately, it was not 5 seconds until he went back outside to defend the solo house from the trio of criminals, which only resulted in catastrophic failure. TommyInnit caught this ability like a virus and became the 4th member of this gang of morphing criminals. But just who was he protecting? Who was the other silhouette in this house? It was none other than Philza. Philza was also a man. In fact, he was the man of all time. But he was not, however, was submitting to this wind-riding contagious virus even if he came in close contact with TommyInnit. That is, he was not submitting for now. The situation develops further for the worst. Now the criminals could turn not just into the simple bouncy sheep, but in fact, any animal in this world of ours. But for some reason, they chose fish. Well, only WilburSoot and 1 other man did so. One of the original 3 Bob brothers, Slimecicle. Unlike the other 4 criminals who had nothing going on in life, Slimecicle has a long past of harassing people with puns so bad that fish would drown.
We're just floundering around here.
This aspect of his personality, alongside WilburSoot's very velvety British accent, might be the most important link to the fish harassment incidents. Multiple fish, mainly cod, have reported being harassed by a fish with a British accent, and, I quote, a fish with jokes so bad that their gills started filling with deoxygenated water. I interrogate the fish for evidence. Excuse me, have you seen any fish with British accents or drown-worthy jokes around your area? I didn't get much evidence. What I do find is an improvised nature-speckled shack that these 5 gangsters built as a temporary shelter. Why is this house in the middle of a bubbling blue river instead of inland? Climate change. The structure is built of a rather crude material, with the whole roof and furniture being crushed by the rapid gaining dust and pollen. Speaking of furniture, how does one tell whose house this is? By the smell of their beds. Thanks to this suspicious scent, I tracked down their remaining path, which leads to the nether? Crap, they spread their virus to different dimensions. The abyss sinks deeper. Their zigzaggy path is giving me hell, but I'm not giving up. So as I proceed through the portal, I smell the summer hot salt smell on the other side. I immediately notice something wrong. Plain as pie. This smell isn't of salt, but of bath salt. This dry, hot, and dense cluster of pillars is of no help. I can't find the path they left. Damn it to hell! The path is rigorous, but as I hop across the rising pillars, I eventually find a fog-quiet, isolated town. I ask around for evidence. Excuse me, sir, have you seen any morphing white boys around here? I asked and asked, but I got no answer. All I need is one clue, a trinket, a piece of residue, anything, as I walk across the wondrous river blue forest. I thought so hard, I almost didn't notice the slat-shaped hole in the tree. Aha! A JSchlatt-shaped hole in the tree! There it is! The hole that saved my job. One of the original 3 Blob brothers, JSchlatt, was similarly partaking in his morphing activities, but he should have been more careful with his choices. When he carelessly decided to morph into an Enderman, he whimsically pranced around this forest and he teleported himself into this warped tree. The path continues. As I followed it back to the overworld, I just noticed the well-camouflaged tiny jail they've built for themselves. They must have finally realized that they were committing so much wrong and tried to imprison themselves, but soon escaped from their own prison. And I kept searching. Reports say of a man who was running around yelling PogChamp in a terrible British accent. And searching. The pollen rates seem to be mountain high this year. The buzzy bees were acting unusual. And searching. Colossal giant footsteps. What has been going on in a natural world these last few days? Will there ever be an end to these outridge events? And I found the last spot of their presence. The earthquake-causing sound wave a few days ago didn't come from nothing. The interdimensional criminals who have been causing havoc across these towns have finally found the end. They activated the Slough portal. This means the end for me if they didn't beat that vicious dragon and thus turn on the only portal that leads home. But I am determined. Even if it takes everything I have away from me, I will catch this 5 criminal gang. Stop right there! You're cornered, crime boys! The silence of a missing dragon. Red soaks the stones, dripping from the edges of the pearl-white ground. This red tells me all I need to know. They were killed. Killed by the dragon! 1, 2, 3, 4. Where's the 5th corpse? There are 5 of them! The dragon isn't real. Using my trusty DNA sampler, I find out that Philza, of course! The man with the least mark. He didn't cause any major crimes at first. He appeared to have been just trying to beat the speedrun, but he beat his friends as well. Now he's going to beat me. Hell no! I snapped hills of pictures of evidence. Philza morphed into a dragon, and his mentality must have been altered as well. Philza is the Ender Dragon. Who would have known that the united gang would have fallen apart like this? Philza, if there's any cells of human consciousness left in your noggin, stop fighting me! You already mercilessly slaughtered the bad guys. Why is everyone so quiet today? I take no chance with this and dip through the portal. The authorities have finally found the mysterious culprits in the end dimension. 4 of them were slaughtered by the 5th, who suddenly morphed back into his human form once knocked unconscious. We caught them! We finally caught them! One question remains. Who originally had the virus? And how did they get it? The guilty Philza says, and I quote, Wilbur initially had the virus. He got his morphing power from a shady surgeon that planted an organ inside him. This cursed organ caused his powers to develop. He didn't know that now he was contagious with it. He invited me and a few friends to come hang out, and he just wanted to show us what he got, which he did. The first time he killed that innocent sheep, I knew something was wrong. It's like this virus brings your mentality down to the thing you're transformed into. The animal. No morals, no ethics. The gang kept morphing, and thus kept losing their human sanity. Killing and therefore morphing into the Ender Dragon was my worst mistake. It broke my brain beyond boundaries. Next thing I know, I'm here. My whole future, my whole life got burnt away from my hands. I am now nothing but a criminal, and my life is now nothing but soot. But what if Tubbo didn't kill Dream in the Dream SMP finale? If you're curious, come find out.